Have you ever wished there was a way to stay calm and centered no matter what life throws at you because your feelings were too much? What if there was a habit that not only made your body stronger, but also helped you deal with stress, anxiety, and even anger better? In this video, we'll talk about how doing yoga can help you handle your emotions much better. Are you ready to find out how this old practice can help you calm down and deal with your feelings? Because Hannah Gold says that in order to make sense of how yoga promotes emotional regulation, both the mind and the body must be involved. Mind-body activities such as yoga are great for building abilities that are necessary for emotional regulation. While the intellect is responsible for interpreting and labeling emotions, the body is the vessel through which emotions are experienced. A pounding heart, butterflies in the stomach, a jaw that is tightly clenched, and even an outbreak of laughs are all examples of physical events that we come to associate with a variety of emotional states. The majority of my younger yoga students have expressed that one of their key goals is to develop abilities in emotional regulation. Mastering the ability to control one's feelings is an essential component of executive functioning. Both self-regulation abilities, including the management of attention, emotion, and arousal, and metacognitive skills, including planning, organizing, sequencing, and flexibility of thought, are included in executive functioning. Executive functioning encompasses the entire spectrum of skills that are necessary for the effective execution of tasks. The ability to comprehend and react correctly to one's own emotional experience is what is meant by the term emotional regulation. An individual's ability to regulate their emotions in conjunction with their other self-regulation skills serves as the basis upon which metacognitive abilities can be constructed. Finding a way through the emotional storm. I like to think of feelings as being comparable to the weather. They are always shifting and changing, and their behavior might be unpredictable at times. A background is created for all of our experiences and actions by our emotional state, which has a significant impact on how we perceive circumstances and how skillfully we are able to respond to them. The emotional climate that we each experience is unique. I personally get the impression that my climate is rather similar to that of Southern California. It is generally pleasant and mild, with occasional periods of drought or floods. On the other hand, it appears that a significant number of my pupils have an emotional climate that is more comparable to that of my home state of Massachusetts, where the weather can be bright and sunny one day and frigid with snow flurries the next. Educators in the classroom have shared with me that they are perplexed and occasionally frustrated by the fact that the academic performance and behavior of certain pupils might vary from one day or instant to the next. One can only imagine how frustrating it must be for the pupil to experience such a wide range of outcomes. However, when I consider this from the point of view of a yoga instructor, I cannot find this to be at all confusing. It is possible that this is merely an indication of a change in the student's emotional weather. The weather can be influenced by a wide variety of internal and external influences, depending on the specific emotional environment that we are experiencing. Some of the factors that are at play include sensory sensations, hunger, weariness, excitement, and worry. Here are just a few examples. Children are continually asked to divert their attention away from their internal experience in order for them to be able to engage in the vital activities of learning and socializing. When parents and teachers tell their children to pay attention, they are requesting that they concentrate on listening to directions, completing a task that has been assigned to them, or reading the room for social signs. For many students, their internal state is disregarded, and their emotional weather might silently build up in the background until it is unleashed with the fury of a hurricane. This could be a very dangerous situation. One of the most important aspects of the practice of yoga is developing an awareness of the fact that our own emotional patterns can vary tremendously. As a result of the fact that I am unique, I am aware that my downward dog or warrior stance varies from one day to the next. My disposition, my level of energy, the other things that are vying for my attention, and the degree to which I am keeping tension in my body are all variables that are continuously shifting. Students who are just starting out in yoga typically respond to these natural oscillations by either mentally resisting or physically resisting. With the passage of time and the application of practice, the assumptions and judgments that have a tendency to surface become less prominent, and more mental space is made available for awareness of the present moment. A line of communication is established between the body and the mind, and they are able to provide support to one another, together with the breath, as a team that is operating at its highest level of efficiency. A fresh approach to showing attention. Children can learn to pay attention in a very different way by participating in mindfulness techniques such as yoga and other similar activities. In addition to being enjoyable, beneficial, and appealing for children, yoga provides them with tools that can help them develop skills for self-regulation, such as awareness and control. These instruments are among my favorites to work with, and one of my favorites is the balance posture known as tree pose. One foot is planted firmly on the ground in the shape of a tree trunk in order to do the tree position. Position the second foot so that it is resting on the calf or thigh of the standing leg. The knee is turned outward and the foot is lifted off the floor. It is possible to arrange the arms in a variety of ways, each of which can either make maintaining balance simpler or more difficult. In part because of the fact that they are so dynamic, balance postures are captivating for both children and adults alike. When we are in tree pose, we are unable to maintain stillness for more than a few seconds at a time. When this happens, we start to wobble and need to correct our balance. In the first stages of their yoga practice, beginners often find themselves swaying back and forth like a young tree in a strong windstorm. The wobbling begins to lessen as they grow more adept at the pose, and the underlying process of self-monitoring, and they begin to resemble a tree that is deeply planted and is being gently blown by a breeze. Tree position is a great way to practice skills that are directly applicable to the regulation of emotions. For pupils to be able to maintain tree posture, they need to eliminate distractions from the outside world, focus on their internal feelings, and make consistent adjustments to their muscular motions. In any circumstance, children can acquire the ability to engage in a process that is analogous to this one, detecting sensations in their bodies, identifying the physical clues that may suggest dissatisfaction, overwhelm, or tiredness, and employing appropriate tactics to preserve emotional equilibrium. Striking a balance, whether it be on a bodily or emotional level, is a task that is not only difficult but also extremely fulfilling. When a youngster is able to complete a challenging activity without experiencing the emotional upheavals that he or she may have encountered in the past, there is nothing that makes them feel more proud than that. In the beginning, this could be a procedure that is quite unstable. The youngster is urgently trying to find equilibrium, just like the sapling in the windstorm, when she loses her temper, lashes out, or withdraws from the situation. Supporting children who are learning to regulate their emotions involves patience, encouragement, and occasionally a little bit of hands-on assistance. This is similar to teaching tree pose to youngsters. It is never incorrect to experience a fall. All you need to do is stand up, take a few deep breaths, and start over. If you're looking for more ways to improve your emotional well-being and live a balanced life, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Join our community for more tips and insights on yoga, mindfulness, and healthy living, because a more peaceful, centered you is just one click away.